Hello, everyone, and welcome to GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling video podcast I am currently running over here on YouTube.com. I'm also looking to go into other venues for releasing this content to go along with it. I do have a special announcement that I will do at the end of this video, but I don't want that to be a full focus on that one. But if you want to hear what that's going to be, wait till the end of the video or skip to the end of the video, however you wish to go ahead and do that. But this video is going to be focusing around predictions for AEW's Double or Nothing 2020. It is coming up this Saturday. We have just gotten past the go home show for AEW Dynamite and going into AEW Double or Nothing. They have 9 matches announced so far. It should be an interesting show to see how they go about everything along with this. The first matchup is going to be part of the buy-in. It's something that they have always really done. That's what they've always called their pre-show, has been the buy-in, everything to go along with that. This one is going to be for number one contendership to Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega's tag team titles. It's going to be Private Party going up against the Best Friends. Private Party has not really been seen too terribly much outside of being the lead episodes or anything to go along like that at this moment. Best Friends have kind of been on TV a little bit more at this time. I think this is going to be an instance where they maybe have built Best Friends up to being a number one contender or anything to go along with that, or until the Dark Order come back in, who have been gone for quite some time in the terms of their tag team that is ranked at this moment. Obviously, the Dark Order's been around with Brody Lee and the other minions and everything to go along with that, but Stu Grayson and the other Dark Order members, which they slipped my head right off the top of my head right now. I'm horrible with names, by the way. Have not been on TV since everything had started going down in the world. I think they are currently stuck out of country, like many other wrestlers who work for the promotions or anything to go along with that. In this particular case, I think maybe they have built Best Friends up to being a number one contendership team. So I'm going to go with Best Friends to go over in this match, and they will eventually face Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega down the line. Up next is another match that was just added this week, actually. It is going to be Shawn Spears going up against Dustin Rhodes. I really feel like this is an area where they need to give Shawn Spears something. They really haven't given him much of anything since everything's going. Like, they built him up, and going into his matches to eventually just lose. They even had the whole tag team partner thing for a little while. He doesn't have Tully Blanchard around with him at this moment because I don't feel like they've been bringing him in due to the pandemic, everything to go along with that. So they don't feel like he is necessity of coming in to be the manager or anything to go along with that. But I feel like they need to give Shawn Spears something, and this is going to be the time to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead with Shawn Spears and him going over in this particular match. Now, this next match may or may not happen. We haven't heard anything otherwise. I am recording this on a Thursday, so there is always a possibility that something changes before Double or Nothing. But it's going to be Dr. Britt Baker going up against Chris Statlander. And the reason why I say that this match is kind of up in the air is due to the knee injury that Britt Baker seemed to have suffered last night on Dynamite. It didn't necessarily look all that good. I'm not even sure when that particular match was recorded to go along with it. I don't think that they were there live on the night before. I think they had recorded a certain amount of period of time beforehand, and that might not have necessarily been live. They haven't really said anything other than it looked like maybe she suffered a knee injury, but they haven't really said anything differently about the match. So as far as we know, the match is still going on. I feel like in the terms of how they've been building up Britt Baker, in the terms of her heel work, she's been doing really well. She hasn't really had a bigger win yet. To go to the record, she has had wins here and there, but I feel like they're gonna give her something that would be considered a bigger win at this point in time, because Chris Statlander has competed for the AEW Women's Title on pay-per-view, at the last pay-per-view actually. So I feel like they're gonna put Britt Baker over in this match, and she'll be the one maybe going down the line for maybe an AEW Women's Title match or another feud. See how everything ends up playing out there. But I'm going to go with Britt Baker picking up the victory. Up next, we have MJF going up against Jungle Boy. You have the ultimate heel going up against the ultimate babyface, essentially, in this match. That is essentially what this match is. They have really been doing a very good job of building up MJF. He has technically never lost in AEW. He's had one loss, which was in a fatal four-way match, meaning he's never been pinned or submitted inside of AEW. Makes you really think that they're going to go that route of him being the one that Jungle Boy would be the one that ends out doing that. I don't necessarily know that, like, the way that things tend to go, like when you see what they call quote unquote wrestling math, where the person who goes over the show before doesn't go over on the pay-per-view. I don't think they've really played that way with MJF going into everything. I'm going to go with MJF picking up the victory in this one. I think they're going to continue on with this undefeated streak of his. And they will build up Jungle Boy in other ways down the line to go along with it. I feel like they have two potential stars there, and they could continue on that feud for a longer period of time, where maybe Jungle Boy gets that victory at a later date. Same as Cody Rhodes to go along with that as well for his feud with MJF. You would assume that's not going to be over with. I feel like this is almost a beginning of something that will go on further down the line. But speaking of Cody, as I get the segue into that one because I have that next on the list, it's going to be Cody going up against Lance Archer. It's going to be the finals for the TNT title tournament. Yes, they are going to be essentially making a TV title named after the television station that they're on. Hope they don't have to ever change television stations. Thinking about that for a moment. Hope they never have to change television stations down the line. They also have announced that Iron Mike Tyson is going to be the one presenting the belt. He's also going to have free reign of the building during the match as well, meaning he can technically be there. He could be in the stands. He could be out ringside, anything to go along with that, making a play up that maybe he gets involved in this match. Also, they had that really good segment with Arn Anderson and Jake Roberts on Dynamite to go along with that. It was, and of course they've been building up Lance Archer as this monster style heel, and he's been destroying people in the Nightmare Family. With his match with Dustin in the semifinals, and then he destroys QT Marshall to go along with that as well. I feel like this is that point in time that they've given Cody a lot of losses, especially in the big time losses. It's not like he's on a losing streak, but when it comes to the big matches, he usually eats the loss. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I think they're going to put that first TNT title on Cody, and he's going to be the one that picks up the victory in this particular match. So I am going to go with Cody in this one. It'll be interesting to see how they play off of it. They've been teasing a lot for this particular match, and it should be an interesting match to watch to see how everything ends up playing out. Up next, we have what they are calling the Casino Ladder Match, which is going to be for a title match down the line. I don't know if this is going to be considered kind of like their Money in the Bank or something to go along with that. They're not doing the Battle Royal this year because obviously based upon any type of limitations of number of people in a ring at once or anything to go along with that. They're not going that route. They're going to go with this ladder match, which has some I'll be honest with you, very interesting rules, and by that I mean rules that I'm not really caring for all that much. I feel like this match, in the terms of it being a ladder match and everything like that, should be exciting with the spots that we're going to see and everything that go along with that. But with how they decided to rule this, make the rules of this match, made it a little bit overly convoluted and a very not even interesting. It's just overly convoluted what they decided to go ahead and do with this particular match. So I'll go over those rules after I go through everybody who's in it so far. So we have Darby Allin, Colt Cabana, Orange Cassidy, Rey Phoenix, maybe, based off of what happened to him on Dynamite. That may not be the case. Scorpio Sky, Kip Sabian, Frankie Kazarian, Luchasaurus, and a to be determined. Yes, there is going to be a mystery guy in this particular match. Now, the rules of the match, like the winner is very simple. It's kind of what you would, the winner of the match is very simple. It's what you would think of any normal ladder match. You climb the ladder and you grab whatever it is. In this case, it's going to be a poker chip. It's going to be a casino chip with that one. But the way that they're going to be doing this, they're going to be doing it battle royal style as well. So it's going to start off with two people in the ring, and then every 90 seconds, another person comes out until all nine are out there, or the casino chip has been grabbed already. Yes, they put this to the point of being they put this to the point of being that this match, and even teasing it, that this match can technically end before everybody's even out there on that one. That's where I feel like it's like you're just overcomplicating things at this point in time with that one. I'm not exactly certain with where they're necessarily going with it. I'm not a big fan of it. This is based off of a ladder match. I should be extremely excited going in and watching this to see what kind of spots we're going to see, everything to go along with that. But they added the overly complicated rules, and this is making it one of the least looking forward to matches for me on the show itself. Now, for the mystery opponent as it is, I'm going to go ahead and go with try to pick the mystery opponent. It's going to be a very interesting one with what they decide to go with. They could have somebody who is the mystery opponent that's already part of AEW. Like maybe MJF finds his way into the match itself, even though he's already had a match. Or it could be somebody that they're just bringing in. We could be getting a debut or something to go along with that. Obviously, guys who you would think, like Rusev or anything on that one, they're still under a 90-day no compete clause. So I don't see them being the ones doing it. But there is, if they're going to be debuting somebody on this area, there is somebody who could technically start with them right now, which is Drew Gulak. But there's also someone else who I feel like they may be bringing in, and is going to be my pick to be the mystery opponent. And that person is going to be Chris Hero, or if you know him, Cassius Ohno. NXT, it does fall under the aspect that he was an NXT person. He was not a WWE main roster where they had 90-day no compete clauses. NXT people only had 30 days. So he could technically be in there. Now, even though Chris Hero is going to be the one that I pick to actually show up in this particular area, I'm not going to be picking him to actually win the match itself. I've really toyed around with everything that they've been doing here. People like Darby Allin, they've really built up, and I don't think that and they've already built him up to a title match and everything to go along with that. He's widely popular. I feel like he's going to be getting another title match down the line. I don't think it's going to be through this, though. Colt Cabana, I don't really see it. Rey Phoenix is somebody that would be a very interesting aspect to facing Jon Moxley or anything. He does fall under being a heel or anything to go along with that as well. Orange Cassidy in this match is... As much as I like Orange Cassidy now, especially after his match with Pac, I don't think they're going to be putting on him. So my thought process really went down to it being either Kip Sabian or Scorpio Sky. And when I went down with everything here, I feel like they're going to build up Kip Sabian at some point in time, but I don't think that this is going to be the case in this particular match as well. So my pick for this one is actually going to be Scorpio Sky, because out of the SCU group, who's the one person that truthfully feels like that they could be the singles breakout star at this point? Because Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels are more towards the end of their career, but Scorpio Sky's still in a very early portion of his career, and I feel like they're going to build him as a singles guy. And it looked like that was going to be the way that they were going to be going until they did the whole thing where the Lucha Brothers hurt Christopher Daniels, and he took the spot for SCU in that tag title tournament. Now I feel like they're going to be going back to that singles run for him. So I'm going to go with Scorpio Sky winning this match. I know he's had a world title match down the line or before, but I feel like they're going to be going that route one more time with him. Up next, we have the women's AEW women's title match. It is also going to be no disqualification. It is going to be no count out, and it is going to be Nyla Rose going up against Hikaru Shida. This is very, especially with the terms of quote unquote wrestling math that they went with on Wednesday night. So technically, Hikaru Shida got one up on Nyla Rose, at least at the end of the segment, because she put Nyla Rose through a table with the help of Chris Statlander after their tag match, with it being Statlander and Shida versus Nyla Rose and Britt Baker. But in the match itself, they actually had Nyla Rose pin Hikaru Shida with the Beast Bomb, which leads me to believe that if they're going to be doing a title change, a true title change in this show, a little bit of spoiler alert, that this would be the match that they would do it. And it would also be done with the actual, it would be more feasible with the actual no disqualification rules. They played up this entire thing that, Hikaru Shida had lost her kendo stick that she had brought to the ring all the time. Lo and behold, who had it? Nyla Rose did. So Nyla Rose ended up having that and has that in her possession. So this would be a way for Hikaru Shida to be able to get her kendo stick back on that one. Now that could be just a thing that she ends up getting back and still loses the match. But I'm actually going to go with Hikaru Shida on this one. I think in the terms of you're wanting to make Nyla Rose a monster style heel, it might be a little bit too soon, but it also feels like maybe they should make the title change. I'm not necessarily certain on that one, but I'm going to go with Hikaru Shida on this one, and we're going to actually predict for a title change to happen on this show. Up next, we have Matt Hardy and the Elite going up against the Inner Circle in what they're calling the Stadium Stampede match. It's not going to be the Blood and Guts match that was originally planned. I think they're still saving that match for when they can have a crowd. So that does mean that I feel like this feud does not end here, especially with the factor that Cody is not part of this match in any way, shape, or form. With that one, you had that crazy segment that ended the show where they started brawling inside of the stadium for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which also saw the returns of the Young Bucks and Adam Hangman Page, who had not been on TV for months due to everything going on at the time. So they had not been around. Now, I would have really thought that Matt Hardy and the Elite would have gone over in this match if Adam Hangman Page did not show back up on Wednesday Night Dynamite. I'm going to go with the Inner Circle on this one. Mainly because it will be able to continue on the feud. You still have those tensions with Adam Hangman Page and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega to go along with that, because what did Adam Page do? It's like, okay, I helped you guys. Peacing out right afterwards. So you still have those tensions and everything to go along with that. But Also, with the factor, I'm going with wrestling math on this one, by the way, on this one, but with, the Elite and Matt Hardy gaining the advantage, also having the returns of everyone, like if they really did wait for Adam Page to reemerge on the actual pay per view itself, then I would probably have gone with the Elite and Matt Hardy. But I'm going to go with the Inner Circle on this one because of how they got the upper hand on this final show. Also, like I said, it keeps it going into the potential blood and guts match down the line. Up next is the main event of the night. It is for you would assume be the main event of the night. Maybe they end it with the Matt Hardy Elite Inner Circle match, but it is for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It is Jon Moxley going up against Brody Lee, the leader or the exalted one of the Dark Order. This one screams. It's really hard to say because you could technically say it's just the Shield versus the Wyatt family all over again, with Brody Lee going up against Jon Moxley. Or Luke Harper going up against Dean Ambrose, however you really want to say it, with those particular sides of everything. But this one, with AEW, people were always worried, it's like, oh, well, become another TNA or something like that, where they bring in a person, they immediately get title matches, or they immediately get put to the main event, or anything like that. It's never really felt that way. Yes, they've been using WWE names such as Moxley, Jericho, Cody to its own extent, though I think he made more of his stardom outside of WWE than he did inside of WWE. And a few other guys to go along with that as well. I mean, if you take a look at a fair amount of them, that there's a decent amount of them that were already in there in some way, shape, or form. I mean, Frankie Kazarian was part of the WWE for a short period of time, way back when. So technically, they had already been there. So it's more where you made your name versus anything like that. Well, Brody Lee's mostly made his name in WWE. He's done a decent job with this whole inner circle, or not inner circle, but Dark Order, Exalted One thing, though he is playing off a lot like Vince. And I'm not going to lie, this is probably the most TNA thing that I've seen from AEW. Because Brody Lee just came in a couple months ago with that one. And lo and behold, he's already going for a title to go along with that. At least with certain other ones, like it made sense for Jericho because Jericho's probably the biggest star that company had. But now you have Brody Lee going for the AEW title. And unless they really want to try to shock people and put the belt on him, I don't see him winning it. I'm going with Mox. I'm going with Moxley on this one as well. I'm not necessarily thinking that the match is going to be bad, but in the terms of how they really booked it, it seems a little too soon for the Dark Order to be going after the world title or anything to go along with that on that particular side. Like whenever they could have gotten their tag team back in there to go after the tag titles, that would have made sense. They really built up Stu Grayson, and I forget the other dude's name off the top of my head. I know one of them's Stu Grayson on that one, but they've really built them up to becoming a viable contender towards those tag titles. Now they haven't been on the show for a period of time. Now hopefully they'll be able to come back at some point soon, and it ends out working out on that particular one. But I'm going with Moxley on this one. I just don't. This one I don't really see as being something where like you feel like they're fully viable. I don't even feel like they've built up Brody Lee enough to be a contender towards the championship that go along with it. It's been too short of a period of time. Maybe another pay-per-view or something like that would have been perfectly fine. Who knows? But I feel like that they've really pushed that along. And now that could have been something that was pushed along a lot quicker because they had other plans. They fell through because of the pandemic, everything to go along with that as well. So Brody Lee's there. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that goes along with that. But I just don't see Brody Lee picking up the AEW title in this one. So, with that being said, I said I was going to have an announcement at the end of the show. I am going to go ahead and do that at this time. I've gone through all the matches, everything like that. One thing that I've always noticed when I start doing things like this is that I try to take a little too much on all at once without trying to like slowly build myself into it. The initial thought process for this channel was like, we're going to do Raw reviews, we're going to do AEW reviews, we're going to be doing SmackDown, everything like that on this channel. Also, we're going to do news or any news stuff or anything like that, which I've barely really even done any of it. On those ones, if anything, I've really only done predictions and the occasional pay-per-view review. Now, that's an aspect of taking a look at everything, and it's like, oh, this is way too much, and it's way too soon. I do want to build up this channel and do more wrestling stuff down the line, but I feel like I need to go ahead and start doing things slowly but surely. Bringing other things to go along with that. So what we're going to end up doing mainly on this channel, I'm going to limit it to about 4 different things. One, the predictions, like you've seen right here, and everything to go along with that. Predictions for the show itself, for the pay-per-views themselves. 2, pay-per-view reviews. 3, if I have the ability. So actually, I won't leave that at 3. I'll leave that as number 4, because number 4 is if I have the ability to do so at the time. But 3, we're going to do simulations as well. Now, my simulations will take place, if you want to watch them live, over at my Twitch page, which should be down in the link below, which is the GodSaw over on Twitch. I will do them live over there, and then eventually you will get the uploads over here before the pay-per-view goes live to go along with that. I'm also going to be doing it in a different fashion. Usually I had taken time to edit each match in the terms of editing out and separating each match. I'm no longer going to do that. I'm just going to give you a very long upload where we go through the matches, so you'll get to see how I set up and everything to go along with that as well. It'll be a nice little touch to go along with that, but you should see simulations to the pay-per-views coming up here to go along with that as well. Now, the 4th thing is, if I can do it at the time, which is live reactions. Live reactions themselves. And now I do most of my streaming over on my Twitch page, which I may mention before, so more than likely it would happen over there. But I will also, much like I did with Money in the Bank, will be going ahead and doing an upload through there over to the YouTube side as well. So with that being said, that's everything I got for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this and you enjoyed everything to go along, and enjoyed all the content going along with that. Again, with that being said, take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great rest of your day.